Hi guys, Manitoba Mutters here again. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I lock my transmission on my lawnmower. I have broken it 4 times, and this way it's not the locker that breaks, I broke the shaft, so I'm doing it again the same way. I did not think of this idea myself. I got it off of a guy named Doc Sprocket. I just kind of upped the ante a little bit and locked it. You do need a welder for this, so if you don't have a welder, you're going to have to find an alternative way. But this way is how you do it with a welder. Make it so then you have a solid shaft. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around here and show you what I do. Okay, so I'm just kind of in the process of putting it back together now. So the way I do it, the way I saw how they do it before is Doc Sprocket is in this ball gear here, which goes in this spot right here and turns around after all these gears kind of turn. There's a spider gear in the middle, which makes it so only one wheel turns and there's like 2 shafts. I took that, and when I first did it, I just welded those 2 kind of gears together on the pin sort of thing in the middle, right? And then, but I snapped the pin in half and it just broke sort of thing. So the way Doc Sprocket showed how to do it is you take it and you take that pin, cut it in half, and you weld it to here sort of thing, right? So then it's certainly locked to like a big shaft. But the pin was already kind of ruined on that, so the way I thought of doing it is let me show you here. We got this big thick steel bar here. It actually fits perfectly into ball gear here, right? And the way I did it is you take those 2 things and you take it and you measure it and you weld it onto the shaft. Well, this is in the ball gear in there sort of thing, so that it's all kind of together sort of thing, and then you tack it on this side and this side when it's in there sort of thing, and you make sure you have it flush and all good, and this is all evenly spaced out and stuff. This way you have your lock shaft. And then after you do that, you want to take it out and you want to put a good thick bead on each side of it. It's kind of still a little hot on each side, and also after it's been welded, you want to let it cool by itself. You don't want to stick it in the snow or anything, because that will flash cool it, and that could crack the metal, and that is why I had a failure in that shaft over there. Okay, so after you do that, you want to go to any store, Princess Auto in Canada. That's where we find them, or you can go to Tractor Supply or a warehouse or something. Anyways, you want to get 2 lock collars, 3/4 inch lock collars, sort of thing, that have a little set screw in them, sort of thing. So you can, when this goes in the ball gear in there, you can put it and lock it in. Then you also, when it's normally in there, there's these spacers, these little washers. You want to put those on the end, so then when this is spinning, this has something to spin against the transmission. This way you're not marring up the inside of the transmission. All you're marring up is just that and that sort of thing. What else? You want a fully keyed shaft, as you see here. You want to be a little careful though. You don't want to, you're going to have to seal this up with a gasket maker or something. This way you don't have grease pouring out of here sort of thing. Okay, so you got this all apart. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to put it together sort of thing real quickly. I'm not going to tighten anything down. I'm just going to show you how it looks when it's inside the transmission. Okay, so now that we got it in the transmission here, I'm going to show you what it kind of looks like. So as you look in here, it's all welded up. I don't really have a good camera set up, so I couldn't show you when I was welding it. But usually if you don't know how to weld really good, I'm not the best welder, so I got my dad to help me here. You want to weld it. Also, another side note, when you're welding it, you want to have this all covered up. This way you don't get slag all over the gears, which I did. You want to make sure it's all covered up, and also this wasn't really covered up that well. I gotta clean that out. But also you want to make sure that there's a little bit of grease on the inside of this. Not too much, but just a little. Okay, this way when you are welding, this is not really going to be covered up. It's just kind of an easy thing, so then when you're cleaning up, there's going to be slag on there. You just have to take the ball gear out and just wipe it out with a rag, and it should be all good, because weld does not go through grease. If you have an oil transmission, you kind of want to do the same thing. It's just oiling. Oil is just another way of keeping it cool, but I like the grease better. What else here? Your seals. You want to make sure these things are nice and clean before you put them in here, because otherwise you'll have, again, oil spewing out of here like crazy. And this is kind of where you're going to want to put the stuff there. I have not tightened it down yet, so this is all movable still. Next thing you want to do once you got that welded, you're going to take a tape measure and you're going to measure from here to here and here to here, and make sure that they are even. This way your wheels will be nice and evenly spaced apart. And I'm going to do that real quickly, and then I'm going to have to come back here and I'll have my dad with me next time, and we'll be showing you how we're going to really put it together nice and good. And we're going to put some grease in this thing, pop it back together, and hopefully we'll be able to test it soon. So yeah, be back in a second. Back with my dad here. Hi Dad, say hi.
Hi. Hi, yeah. Dad.
So we're just greasing up the transmission right now. I got it all locked in place sort of thing. So the reason why you have these, and then this doesn't walk back and forth when it's in your transmission sort of thing. You want to make sure everything's greased up nice and good because you already wiped that all out sort of thing. Once it's all greased up, you're going to get ready to clamp the two half sides together. Just make sure, one thing when you're taking it apart, these balls here you got to be very careful of. You cannot lose these. You lose these, you cannot shift. Okay? And you want to basically, when you're putting this together, we usually use the new grease because it's usually stickier, right? You put it on the back and you just kind of stick it onto, there's like little springs underneath there. Stick it on there and you let them stay there. You've got to watch very carefully to make sure those do not fall out when you're putting the two half sides together. Once it is, it should be all good and ready to go. And so we're just going to finish greasing it up. We'll come back to you when we're bolting the case half back together. See you in a second. Hey guys. We got the transmission all together. I'm just tightening them up by hand, so when you're putting it back together, you want to make sure that you tighten all of them by hand first. Make sure they're all goodly seated, sort of thing. Goodly, is that even the word? Anyways, you want to make sure they're all seated really well. After that, you're going to take an impact gun, and you're gonna depends how high. If you got just a cordless impact gun, you're gonna wait for 2 or 3 kind of ticks of it that you'll hear sort of thing, so then it's all nice and seated. You want to do it in a pattern sort of thing. You don't want to do all the way around because it'll set it evenly and this will all be kind of ruined. Another side note, as you see, sometimes there's just a little bit of a gap over here, so you're going to want to take some Loctite and you're going to just kind of squeeze it in there sort of thing. It should be all fine because you're going to have a washer up against here and then some spacers, but you're going to do that real quickly, and then I'm going to show you how I put all those on. I'm going to try and show you me doing that, but I don't really have a tripod or anything. I'm just using my phone, so I probably won't, so I'll just get back to you once the case half is all nicely bolted together. See you in a second. Hey guys, so we got it all bolted back together now. My dad is currently left now. You want to make sure this all spins nice and freely when it's going. Right now, it looks like it's in like first or something. As long as it's spinning, it's good. You want to make sure this is all together, all nice. You don't want, you want to make sure that this is all sealed down. You don't want to make sure that it's like all one part is up or something, that something's catching. It should be all good. As long as it spins nice and freely, you're all good. And then I'm just going to bolt it back into the transmission. I gotta put the spacer on, but I'm basically done right now. I'm going to stop for the night. I'll probably catch up with you a little later about it. I'll put a picture online or something about it. We're going to be making an Instagram page soon, so make sure you check that out. Give it a couple likes. We're going to post a bunch of photos and stuff. Remember, I did not 100% think about this. I got it from Doc Sprocket, which you can check out. I think it's just Doc Sprocket on YouTube sort of thing. I think it's called the Doc Locker 1.0 or 2.0, something like that. He calls it the Doc Locker, but I just kind of upped it up a little bit and put really thick metal instead of just those little keys because, I don't know, go big or go home, right? So another plan that I want to do with this is I'm going to, after I bolt it all up in Frank over there, I got from Princess Auto, the best place in the world, I got these bearing blocks sort of things, and these fit right onto the shafts sort of thing, I can get them on here. Yep, so they fit right onto the shaft sort of thing. And I'm going to bolt them up like that because my last one wore out really bad. It kind of wore out the transmission a bit and also really badly on the thing. So I'm going to put these bearing blocks just like that sort of thing. So then all the pressure is not inside here when if it's not going to be like, it's not going to be pressuring down into there, right? It's going to put all the pressure onto these and it's not going to break and it's going to be all nice and good. And so I'm all bolted up and ready to go. See you, I guess, at the next video. Hopefully, it's probably going to be when it's spring out and there's going to be actual water that we can test out the new two-wheel drive on. Remember to like, subscribe, comment on the video if you have any questions about it because I know it was kind of a lot. I didn't really do that much videotaping. I'm going to try and get a cheap kind of Sony camera. This where I can actually like show you guys when we're welding and how we do it sort of thing. I used a MIG welder during this with gas. You want to make sure you get really good penetration because otherwise you will snap those right off sort of thing. Okay, I guess see you at the next video. Bye.